Rugby League, the greatest game of all. But what if they were to play 7's instead? Today we're going to be drafting our best rugby 7 sides out of the current and past NRL player pools. Miles, I want you to flip a coin for who gets to go first here.
Now, we know how this went last time.
I'm taking heads. Another one. And after winning that scariest players draft, you can't be surprised, hey?
Yep. Yeah, just go, mate. Just take it.
Look, it's tough with so many players on the board right now. I'm going to take a bit of a bold move here and go to the wing first and take Semi Radradra.
Yeah, look, very typical pick for you, and I knew that's exactly where you were going, but go ahead. Talk about the bloke till the cows come home.
All right, Semi-Trailer, best winger to have ever played the game. Look, there are a few other wingers you could take there, but no one beats Semi Radradra in the open field. The man can break a tackle better than anyone, and I'm confident he's going to be finishing a lot of tries for my team.
Got another bloke who played rugby league for quite a long time, but also took a dip in the All Blacks pool of greatness. So I'm going with Sonny Bill Williams.
Ooh.
Mate, the bloke was an absolute terror in the league and also for the All Blacks. He absolutely killed it playing, centre, whether it be on the rugby union field and then in the back row and lock for the Roosters and the Bulldogs.
I'm going to stay in the forwards as well and pick a guy who I think is going to lock things down for me in defence. He's going to be a great ball player and he's going to allow me to choose some more ball-running sort of centric halves and centres in this team. I'm taking Isaiah Yeo. The inform lock, one of the best defenders in the game, and can hit a hole. Probably not the attacking player, but I think he locks it down and he allows me to choose some more attacking players in the other positions.
Yeah, interesting. Surprises me a little bit. I didn't know you were such a big fan of Isaiah Yeo or Penrith, for that matter. But Isaiah Yeo, fantastic player across all kind of formats, you'd think, because, started in the centres, moved to the back row, and now he's playing 80 minutes at lock pretty much every week, so he's going to be pretty fit. And also has that kind of calming nature that we have spoken about at length in other videos. I suppose my next pick is something that, you probably wanted in our last video, and you actually did take him with your first pick in our scariest players in the NRL video. It's Latrell Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen. The tables have turned, and now I've taken Latrell. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing.
You've got Latrell. I don't mind that. I don't mind the Latrell pick at all. I think that he's probably not fit enough for the 7's game. I think that, I've chosen a player who's going to be able to play the whole game and defend. You've chosen a guy who, he'll have some highlights, but then we're going to run past him a couple of times down the stretch. Now, counteracting your Latrell pick, I'm going to come straight back at you with Greg Inglis. The goanna, the superior Latrell. I'm talking prime Greg Inglis too,
Okay.
like 104 kilos, aerial monster. Just coming out of Melbourne there at that sort of level. Bit younger, bit quicker. I think he's going to burn Latrell.
Yeah, look, Greg was pretty skinny back in the day when you actually think about it. When he came into the league as an 18, 19-year-old, he barely had any meat on him, and then he just grew into this absolute beast of a human. So I can definitely see how his game would translate. Not so late into his career. You'd probably want that 2014 Greg Inglis, the one who went all the way in the grand final against the Dogs. At fullback, I'm going to take probably the infamous now, Israel Folau. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, lot of shit around Israel Folau, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about what this bloke was like as a football player and play on both sides of the coin, right? He was a turncoat, AFL player. Then he played rugby union for a long period of time and was very successful in that arena, especially at fullback. And the bloke just had hops, right? He could just get up amongst the best of them. Everyone knows or has seen the try in Origin that he scored over Anthony Quinn. Don't know how Anthony Quinn was in the team to begin with, but that's neither here nor there. Looking pretty strong here at the moment. Sonny Bill, Latrell, and Israel Folau. Pretty dynamic characters. Don't know how my change room's going to be, but I think it's going to be good.
You've got some big units there, but how many tackles are going to be made? amongst that group. I don't see a lot of sort of work rate across that group. A lot of finishing. If only attack was played, pretty good team. But I think we're going to beat you in defense. And look, that leads me to my next move, and I'm going to be a total hypocrite right now. I am taking 2005 superstar, the premiership winner himself, Benji Marshall.
Yeah, I had him written down.
Prime Benji Marshall would destroy your team. Just imagine Latrell trying to go with Benji on a right foot step. Imagine Sonny Bill. You know, even Izzy Folau, Benji Marshall's going to carve you up.
Yeah, as a halfback choice, he was probably my number one pick. But look, Benji's got all the flair in the world, right? You know, retired now, so that's it's great to see him get the swan song of his career. Unfortunately, he didn't get it done with the Rabbitohs, but such a tremendous highlights reel. I think the one that comes to mind for me is the one against the Sharks, where he steps about 3 players, then throws a long ball to Fitzhenry, and it's just an absolute piece of brilliance when you watch it and you just go, far out. This bloke was insane that year. Now, you've commented on my defence, but this bloke was probably the best defender in the league for a number of years for his position. I've actually gone with Cooper Cronk. Now, sort of left field pick here, and I think this bloke was absolutely solid in defence, and then also had a great kicking game and played almost a captain coach role towards the end of his career. Got a great football brain, works hard, and he dominated the game, especially for the last couple of years that he was in it, winning premierships at 2 different clubs and going back to back with the Roosters. He was in 3 premierships in 3 years. It was outrageous.
Look, let us know in the comments what you think about the Cooper Cronk pick.
No.
I think it's a shocker.
No.
Absolute shocker. Like 7 guys on the field, he's not going to be able to keep up. There's no way. Look, he's a great player on the 13-a-side game. If we were picking 15-man teams, maybe you look at Cooper Cronk. But for 7's, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm keen to see what you put together here, because some paintings don't look good until the final stroke, and that might be this one.
Mate, people have been underestimating Cooper Cronk for his entire career, and you're just one of the haters. Love you, Cooper.
I'm going to go for defense again, but with a bit of flair attached. I'm taking Dylan Brown as my other forward. Dylan Brown, I considered Fittler. Dylan Brown, though, no better covered defender in the game. No quicker covered defender in the game. And no guy who just chases down guys as much as Dylan Brown does.
Look, I'd say, 100%. He was very good at doing that this year. I think with Dylan Brown, we're yet to see the best of him. So I think maybe it could be a bit of a premature pick. But I hear he's off to the Dolphins, mate, as well. What do you think about that?
He's locked up at Parramatta, whether it's contract or in my basement. It doesn't matter. But he's staying with the Eels, mate.
I'm going to pick a guy who's very versatile, tried his hand at NFL, and his name is Valentine Holmes. I think that Val is the most clutch player in the NRL. I've not been shy about saying that. He just is so talented regardless of what position that he slots into. Yes, he went over to the NFL. It didn't work out, but I can easily see him slotting into, a quite quicker pace game that, really relies on, speed, agility, and then also breaking tackles. And, I don't think defense is a huge part of this game, but if you want to talk defense, I think Val Holmes was one of the most underrated center defenders this year as well. So, Val Holmes for me is going to slot in on the wing.
I'm going to go into the hooker spot next, and there's a couple of guys I'm considering here, and they're the 2 Queensland hookers. So 2 current guys. We've got Harry Grant, we've got Ben Hunt. I like Harry for his creativity. I like Ben Hunt for more that open field play, kicking game, a bit of pace there too.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Harry Grant though.
Okay.
I think Harry Grant's really the best guy in the league in terms of finding players, especially on those short sort of lines there. Especially you've got Dylan Brown, Greg Inglis, Simi Radradra. Just running those nice lines for him, he can always pick the right guy. So Harry Grant to steer the team around from hooker.
You're going to be extremely valuable to the Melbourne Storm this year. Going to have to really step up his minutes, I think, with no real credible backup there at the moment. We'll have to see what happens, whether they decide to go with a hooker on the bench or not, and kind of up his minutes a little bit more. I've actually gone for, at the hooking spot, Damien Cook.
It's a good pick.
So, Damien Cook, as we know, speed out of dummy half, and I really love him picking the ball up off that ruck and finding the man and being able to, not have that many players on the field, because I think where he really excels is in space. So, with Damien, it's got to be, get that quick ruck ball and playing straight off the back of that, finding his either forwards or half really quickly, and then playing off the back of that, because I think he might be the fastest hooker in the NRL, arguably. So, Damien Cook is actually going to be hooking the ball for me.
It's a good pick. He was number 3 on my list. Cook is electric, but I guess it's just a toss-up. He's much quicker than Harry Grant. Harry Grant's more creative, so, you can't really go wrong with those. A couple of good hookers.
Yeah, both really good defensively too, so might cancel each other out here.
Yeah.
But
now, we're up to my final pick, and I'm about to choose the most electric fullback we've seen in recent years. A guy who wears purple on a weekly basis, and a guy who's never caught from behind. A guy with a flourishing mullet, and a man who apparently can play some golf and is playing cricket as well. The legendary Ryan Papenhuyzen is my fullback. Now let me explain the rationale here. I've already got Semi Raj Radra. I've got Benji, Isaiah Yeo. I've got Dylan Brown there. I've got Harry Grant, a bunch of creative guys. All I need from my fullback is for them to be the fastest man on the field and to always hit that support line. And I'll tell you who does that. It's Ryan Papenhuyzen. I think he'll be a top try scorer in this competition for us.
Yeah, look, Paps, there's not really much more to say. I'm so looking forward to seeing him come back from injury this year, and hopefully goes out there and kills it. And he'd be one of the favourites for the Dally M medal. If you ask me, if I was a betting man, I'd be putting money on Ryan Papenhuyzen to come back from injury and show the comp that he's still got it, and that he's a hardened man after that year that he had last year. They were really pushing him to the limit. I think Melbourne, they kind of kept him out on the field where he probably should have gone off, and then it made one injury worse. Then he picked up another injury at the same time, and he was just a bit banged up, I think, by round 10, and then he got to his comeback, and then freak injury, to have a shattered kneecap. Like, when do you see that on the field? Like, solid knee-to-knee contact. I don't know what Jack Whiten's knees are made out of, but they must be made out of bloody concrete. So, looking forward to seeing Paps come back this year, and I think that's a pretty good pick from you, mate. So, I've left my forwards to the very end, one at the start and one at the end. I think that might be the way to go. The guy that I've actually gone for, hometown hero for my team, Jason Taumalolo. I think that Taumalolo, especially last year, I know what you're going to say, that he doesn't have the speed or the pace, he doesn't have the fitness to go with them. I think this year he really showed that he plays big minutes and that he can still run over blokes. And you know what? Another thing that I noticed this year is that he's developed a passing game. I think we saw that in full flight in the finals. So with Taumalolo coming in, no one's tackling him on your side because he's going to get a bit of space and just run through everybody. And I don't think you're going to be able to stop his offload if he gets it away. And then you're going to have to commit about 3 or 4 blokes to one tackle, and that's going to leave about 7 holes. So I think with Taumalolo, it's a good 7th pick.
We'd find it very hard. Yeah, we'd find it really hard to stop him. I'm not questioning that at all. So that winds down our picks for the rugby league players lining up in the 7s. Let us know in the comments who you think has the better side, and if we've missed anyone that you would have picked. Cheers.